Today we take up the complete revision of the English literature chapters which we have covered. All of you ready? Okay. The first thing we do is quest for natural living. Write down the chapter's name, and you need not copy the questions because everything is getting recorded. If you know the answers, try to answer them. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's not quest for natural living. Sorry. The Hitchhiker. The first chapter that we have done, the last one. Let's do the question answers of the Hitchhiker. Question 1. Describe the narrator's car. Describe the narrator's car. Anyone to answer? Come on, Anubhav. What? Tell me some points about it. Okay. Krishna, you? One. Car? Yes. It was a shining light blue or pale blue car. Yes. More? Any other thing? It was a big BMW. Yes. Then other points. No will not do. I will stop. Anyone from online? Open your books and see. Open your books, please make some effort. Because I won't be tolerating a dumb class. And if the answers do not come from online also, I will be removing the class, children. It had? Yes, it had a speed of 129 mph. Anything else? Come on. Very good. The seats were dark blue and the leather was of very fine quality. The windows were electrically operated and the roof, come on. It was a sunroof which could be removed and the antenna, come on. For signal. Check the next line. Okay, so the aerial popped up when when the radio was switched on, and it went inside when it was switched off. Next, why did the narrator find his drive particularly a pleasurable one? Why was the drive pleasurable? This is your answer. Please look in your literature copies if you don't have any. This shows your preparation. So should I cancel the online class because you all are not answering? Prince, answer. Why did the narrator find the drive particularly a pleasurable one? Prince, you can hear me? Okay, then bye. Mojit, why was the drive a pleasurable one? Okay. Yes. Yes, he was moving with a great speed. Anything else? Anything else? Exactly, the scenery, the whole description of the lovely scenery which made the drive pleasurable one. Okay. Next, the hitchhiker's English was different from narrator's language. Why did the author use the different kind of speech? Joshita, will you please? Because only you are left. Rest have all gone. And I'm very happy. It's nice to teach only the intelligent ones because at least you'll answer. I mean, it's not nice to teach intelligent ones, but that's the choice they have taken. They have moved themselves off from the class.
Actually, I don't know the answer.
Check it in your literature copy. Okay. Okay. So the answer to this is to make the conversation interesting, and at the same time, while reading, it will give us the knowledge that two people belonged to different origin. Okay. He was the narrator was a writer. That means his vocabulary would be very good. Whereas the other one was a fingersmith. Okay, he didn't call himself a pickpocket, he called himself a fingersmith. Okay, next. Who called himself a fingersmith and why? Who called himself a fingersmith? The hitchhiker called himself a fingersmith. And why do you think he called himself that? Yes, he was expert in his skills. Okay. How was losing the books helpful for the narrator and the hitchhiker? Remove your mask. I'm not able to hear you. Very simple. Once the books were lost, now there was no proof, no record. And the policeman had that book from the policeman. It was taken away, pickpocketed by the hitchhiker. Okay, so once the books were not there, it was easy for them to escape. And what was the offense? Why were they booked by the policeman? Come on. At a high speed, they were riding the car at a high speed. Okay, what was the speed of the car and how much acceleration was it increased by? What was the speed of the car? 20 miles per hour. And how much it was more? What was the limit which was allowed? 60. 60. Okay. Next. Why did the person hated to be called a pickpocket? Come on. Though he was a pickpocket, but why? What made him just hate it?
Ma'am, pickpockets, they stole things from.
Once
Ma'am,
again, please.
the pickpockets steal things from like blind ladies, and he was perfect with his fingers, so that's why he wanted to himself to be called a fingersmith, not a pickpocket.
Okay, yes, you tell me. Okay. So the reason was why he called himself fingersmith and not a pickpocket, because he believed that it was a rough and a vulgar word. First thing. Second thing, according to him, he knew that pickpockets were, without any moral value. They could even steal money from a blind person or from an old person. Okay. So now he was against these principles. He only took money from those who were rich. Because in the story, there's an incident also where he goes for a race, and then from winners, he used to execute money, take away the money, not from the losers also. So he had his own principles, plus he was fine in the art of dealing with his fingers. He was skilled in his art, so he called himself a fingersmith instead of a pickpocket. Got the answer? Got the answer? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Name the writer. Louder. Okay. So coming on to the next one, detectives 2. And please see that you learn all the word meanings of the chapters without mentioning it. Detectives 2. Who was Appu and who was Velu? It's a book, open book. You can answer after seeing it. Who was Appu? Come on. Mehak, would you like to try? Who was Appu?
Appu was the helper at the children's grandparents' house.
Very good. He was a helper at the children's grandparents' house. Okay. Okay. Who was Velu? Come on. Who was Velu? Velu was the cart driver who had fetched the children from the station, bus station, down to the village. Take care. Next. How did the cart driver nudge the oxen? What did he do? Come on, somebody from here.
Ma'am, he produced a whirring sound that made the animals move faster.
Okay, so he never touched the animals. What he did was he used the stick and he used to whirl it around the moving wheel, and the sound which was produced that gave a signal to the oxen to move faster. He never touched them. This shows his kindness also towards the animals. Okay, okay, children, got it. Now, who was Suku? Come on, who was Suku? Anyone from here? Come on.
Ma'am,
Anyone?
Suku was Appu's elder brother.
Will you please be a little louder and clearer?
Ma'am, Suku was Appu's elder brother.
Yes, Suku was Apu's elder brother. And now tell me who slapped him and why? Who slapped him? Somebody from here? Chalo, who slapped him? Oh God. अरे किसने मारा था उसको? बिना देखे बताओ. Hari Mama. Okay, Hari Swami had slapped him. And why? 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 Please look up, otherwise I'll terminate this class. अगर
Ma'am,
सारे आंसर, हाँ, yes.
he found damage. He thought that Suku was responsible for it.
Beg your pardon, I'm not able to hear you.
Ma'am, Hariswamy found a damaged bag of paddy and he blamed Suku for it.
Okay, so there was one bag of paddy which got damaged. Out of the number of bags while placing it, one bag got damaged. And this made Hariswamy very upset and he hit this boy, Suku. Okay, thank you, child. Next. Blood, my brother, is thicker than water. Explain the meaning with reference to the story. Come on. Blood, my brother, is thicker than water. Explain the meaning with reference to the story. Okay, सुनो सब लोग. जब easy answers नहीं दे पा रहे हो तो difficult, ये तो थोड़ा difficult है. Anyone would like to try online? Blood, my brother. Yes.
Ma'am, as Suku was Appu's elder brother, even though Suku was the culprit, Appu will take his side because they were brothers.
Yes. So the fact is that Appu was Suku's brother. And knowing the fact that, okay, the people were blaming Suku for putting the house on fire. But Appu was the one who was siding with Suku. Yeah. So this told us that in spite of Suku being a culprit, there could be a chance that Appu would side his brother because he's his brother. Okay. So blood is always thicker than water. Okay. हम अपनों के संग खड़े होते हैं, right? This is what it means. Okay, to stand by your own person, own people. ठीक है? Did you get it, children? How did the children refer the following? Now, in the story, listen carefully. In the story, the two children called these people by different names. Let us see you if you guess this. What did the children call their father? Appa. What did they call their mama? Amma. What did they call their grandfather? Tata. What did they call their grandmother? Patti. Okay? Okay, how far was the village from the bus stop? How far was the village from the bus stop? It was 2 kilometers. And how was the journey covered for these 2 kilometers? By
by a car.
a bullock cart. Okay, why do you think they used bullock cart? Why was there not a bus station next to the village? Come on. Uneven road. The concept is the roads were still not built properly. The roads were uneven, which were leading to the village. Okay. Next, name the writer. Okay, good. Next, we come on to mending walls. Name the poet. No. Robert Frost. Where was the wall? Come on. Where was the wall? Where was the wall? Hurry up.
It was between a poet and his neighbor.
The wall was between the property of the poet and his neighbor. What is the attitude of the following for mending the wall? The attitude of the neighbor. What was he? What was his attitude? Come on. Remove your mask. I'm not able to hear you. Yes, the neighbor wanted the wall. The presence of a wall was invited by him. He was seen quite often building up the wall again and again. And he believed that good fences make good neighbors. In spite of having a different property, a demarcated property with pine trees, pine orchards in one side and apple orchards on the other. So still he wanted the property to be divided. So he was in favor of the division of the property and the presence of a wall. Clear? Now, what was the attitude of the poet? The poet, just like the nature, does not want the presence of a wall. He condemns the presence of a wall because he believes that drawing a fence will draw a fence in the heart. Okay, people should be connected. The nature has never drawn any such thing. No demarcation. Nature treats everyone equally. So the poet is of the same thinking. He wants to associate himself with nature. So he is against the building of a wall. Okay. Next, where does the neighbor live? Where do you think in the poem is being told where the neighbor lives? Loudly, please. No, there's another place. Huh? Though he lives next door, but then he lives on the other side of the hill. It is being told in the story. Just go through it. Am I right? Anna? Yes. What do they do during springtime? What is the favorite work they do during the springtime? Both the neighbor and the poet. Come on. Both the neighbor. Yes. What is their? What do they do in the springtime? Come on. They both come together to mend the wall. Both of them come together. During the springtime, they meet. Why? To mend up the walls. Okay? Because when it comes winters, the soil is hardened and the upper boulders, they just break and open up, which leave loose gaps between the walls. So once the winter is over, during the springtime, the mending time comes. When all the stones are mended and whichever has fallen to whichever side, they pick it up and they place it back again. So that the wall is there. Okay? Okay, children, online children, did you get the answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Who has the apple orchard and who has the pine tree growing? Come on. Yes. The author, the poet has the apple orchard and the neighbor has the pine trees growing. Okay. Who is like an old stone savage? The neighbor is like an old stone savage. Why? Why is the neighbor being called so? Why is he called like an old stone savage? Okay, negative energy, 1 point.
Ma'am, because he believes what his father said that good fences make good neighbors.
Loud, please.
Ma'am, because he believed the old saying his father said that good fences make good neighbors.
Child, maybe when I'll use my earphone, I will be able to hear you. Now, he has been called an old stone savage because many a times he was seen carrying those stones to build up that wall again. So carrying that stone gave him the appearance as if he was an old stone savage, the one who's carrying huge boulders of bricks on his head. Okay. Why do you think the neighbor says good fences make good neighbors? Answer it in your own words, children. क्यों कहा जाता है कि good fences make good neighbors? Okay, since it's a little tricky question, let me answer it. Now, good fences make good neighbors. This means that, okay, once the demarcation is done, you are quite clear. You're not going and fighting for your rights. Okay, this gives a peaceful atmosphere. At least you are at peace with your neighbor. At least you have good terms with your neighbors. But supposing, imagine in front of your house if there was no boundary all around. That means even if the neighbor would have thrown a little piece of a little water and had it come to your side, you would have picked up a quarrel. Yeah, Mario, क्यों फेंका? ठीक है ना? Supposing he has gone to throw a rubbish and supposing that he had littered a little portion of your house, you will definitely fight. So he's saying that good fences make good neighbors. At least the demarcated areas tell your territory and you do not go and fight. Okay. So this is what the neighbor believed. Okay. Okay. Now we come on to the next one. A day's wait. Name the writer. Name the writer. I am not able to hear. Okay. Next, who's the narrator of the story? Shad's father. Okay. Why did the doctor give 3 different medicines? That's called bad manners. Okay. To have a water in front when the teacher's teaching. He could have hold it. Okay. Why was he given 3 different medicines? One was for fever, to bring it down. Second one was for it was a purgative to cleanse the system. And the third one, to remove the acidic condition. Okay. Okay. Now the proper format of answering, please do read the answers so that you get the proper. I'm telling these answers in the talking language so that at least you understand the concept. Okay. Okay. What was the boy suffering from? Influenza. The boy was suffering from influenza. And please, in the exam, write in full sentence. Supposing a question comes, what was the writer's name? Yeah, name the writer of the lesson so and so. Don't just write the writer. Write the complete. The writer's name of the from the lesson. This is this. Okay. If you write just one single word, I will not give you full marks. Okay, I will cut marks. It's a literature paper. It's not one word answers that you have supposed to give. Okay, so make sure you write in full sentences. Okay. Name the book which the father read out for the child. Loudly. Okay. He read the book of pirates for his son. What was the name of the boy and what was his age? What was the name of the boy? Easy. Shad. Shad. And what was his age? See the first paragraph, first, second, third paragraph. You might get the age. What was his age?
I'm 9 years.
See, I can tell the paragraphs and you all don't read the lesson also. He was 9 years old. What is the meaning of the word shats? Come on. बहुत पढ़ाई की है तुम लोगों ने. चलो इसका आंसर दो तो मान जाओ. What is the meaning of the word shats? My treasure. My treasure. Now look for it where it is given. Okay. Don't tell. I know. तभी तो मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा. In German it means my treasure, and here it's the name of a boy. Okay. Now the last two, the kite maker and fairyland. Let's quickly just go through, write down the questions because this revision we have done already. Okay. Where had Ali's kite got caught? Oh, it's getting recorded. It had got caught in an old banyan tree. Did the twine break? No. Then what had happened? It had got stuck into the banyan tree. How did seeing Ali gladden Mahmood? How did seeing Ali gladden Mahmood's heart? It gladdened because he could see him, because rest of them all were busy. He had nobody next to him. So seeing Ali grow in a nice way, he felt happy. Okay. How were the olden days different? In the olden days, people used to come and meet him. They used to encourage kite flying. Even the Nawab had this habit of flying kites, and he was in popular demand. Mahmood was in popular demand. He was liked by one and all. But now the times have changed. Now nobody comes even when he's not well. And during the time when earlier in his youth, the people on hearing that he was sick would come and ask for about his health. Okay. Now the people were busy earning money, and the children who once used to fly kites had now grown up and were struggling to get a job. Okay. Flying kite was no more a sport for them. They preferred watching a movie. Okay, let me quickly read out the others. Fairyland. Name the writer. Ruskin Bond. Sorry, Rabindranath Tagore. See, where does the princess lie sleeping? Across the seven seas. Why do you think the boy whispered? Because he didn't want the others to hear, and he believed that once he'll be loud, the fairyland of his imagination would vanish. Okay, to whom he wants to share his secret? To his mother. And there was one more in the character in this, the cat. Okay. Thank you, class. Bye bye.
Thank you.